Okay, let's talk about cleaning out the government. And it's time to hand out some credit where credit is due. You know, I don't exactly hesitate to attack the right, to attack the GOP when I see weakness and failure. And obviously, you don't have to look hard to find that in the GOP. But when they're doing good, we should be pointing that out as well. I believe that is the right thing to do. Now, let's talk about the federal government before we get to some specifics, FBI, CIA, and otherwise. As you know, the federal government was weaponized against the right in horrible ways under Obama, and then especially got put into hyperdrive under Joe Biden. How did they do that? Why did they do that? Well, they did that by filling up the government with communists. The saying is as old as time, personnel is policy. Personnel is policy. How many times have you heard that? Well, it's a fact. If you fill up the government with committed communists who hate Republicans, then you're inevitably, wherever you put those committed communists, you're going to have that organization attacking Republicans and protecting Democrats. Barack Obama worked very hard during his 8 years to put those people into place all over the government. Joe Biden got to drive the sports car that Barack Obama built and turn the federal government loose on the right in every possible way. It's probably the most evil thing I've ever seen from the government in the United States of America, and that's saying something. So we have, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino taking over the FBI. Well, they may be in charge, right? But just because you're sitting in the big office, in the big suite, doesn't mean you are firmly in control of everything. When you have a multi-thousand person, something like 35,000 employees, thousands of employees underneath you with manager after manager after manager who's a commissar, it's going to take work to get them out. And unlike the private sector, sadly, you can't fire these freaking people. It takes forever. But they are getting rid of them. Brian Driscoll. Brian Driscoll is a piece of trash. Brian Driscoll's gone. Steve Jensen, he was a senior agent at the FBI, really heading up the persecution of the January 6ers. Remember how the FBI would hunt down people, pound on their doors, sending SWAT teams after peaceful people? Yeah, he's gone too. Walter Giardina, fired. You remember Peter Navarro? Peter Navarro, who came on this show several times. Peter Navarro offered through his attorney, he lived right by the FBI, he told the FBI, if you're going to come get me, I didn't do anything wrong, but just let me know, I'll come turn myself in. The FBI said, no, we're not interested. And then they grabbed him and cuffed him in the jetway of an airport to humiliate him on top of everything else. The guy who did that's gone too. Again, we have to hand out credit where credit is due, and I realize we have a very, very long way to go, but that we are cleaning out the commissars is a good thing that we should feel good about. Give yourself some wins. Don't succumb to the cynicism, I do this all the time too, of, well, it's not enough. That's not enough. We have more to go. They should go to jail. And I'm not saying you're wrong about any of that. I agree. It's not enough. More should go to jail. More should be fired. It's not enough, but it's something. Not just the FBI. Honestly, maybe more frightening than the FBI is what has happened at the Central Intelligence Agency. When America's intelligence agency, spy agency that isn't even supposed to operate domestically, starts operating domestically on behalf of Democrats and against Republicans, it's a big deal. So when you see segments like this on MSNBC, it really should put a smile on your face.
Brian Driscoll became something of a folk hero, as you mentioned, when he was named the acting director, accidentally, by the way. His name was put in the wrong place in a chart. And then he stood up to a plan by the Trump administration that seemed like it was poised to fire hundreds, if not thousands, of FBI agents who had worked on those January 6 cases. He resisted that. And yet he retained his job and his continued employment in the Bureau, as well as Jensen and some of these other people, provided a little bit of hope that it was possible to dissent from some aspect of Trump administration policy, or at least to push back and keep your job. Well, that day is over. The message has been sent very clearly, and morale inside the FBI, guys, is about as low as I've ever heard it described as I talk to people.
That's wonderful. Washington Post reporting CIA officials are leaking that Gabbard is overriding their concerns. FBI cleaning out, Gabbard cleaning it out. And by the way, I brought up the CIA. We have a long way to go there because, again, it's an organization that it's based on lies. It kind of has to be. Spies don't get to announce their presence when they're doing it, so you have a bunch of professional, trained liars inside of the building. Tulsi acknowledged as much as what she said.
John Brennan and James Clapper, as leaders in the intelligence community, they have their own disciples. They have a lot of their own people that they brought in with them, or that they, mentored in a mirroring of their own image. And many of those people still exist within the intelligence community now. Fundamentally, we are working towards making change, institutional change. And this is a major area of focus for me, institutional change that will undo the infrastructure that people like John Brennan and James Clapper built that allowed these bad actors to thrive and to be promoted into very, very powerful positions within the intelligence community.
That infrastructure she's talking about, that's what we mentioned earlier from Barack Obama. They put into place a communist infrastructure system where if you proved yourself to be a loyal commissar, you would get promoted. And now we have to get the criminals out. And look, people are doubtful. Honestly, I'm doubtful that we're going to see indictments and arrests just because we've never seen them. These criminals always get away with it. But I keep getting more and more hopeful as we keep getting bigger and bigger people saying they're coming, they're coming, they're coming. It's not a small deal that the Vice President of the United States of America is saying this.
I absolutely want to see indictments, Maria. Look, of course, you've got to have the law follow the facts here. You don't just indict people to indict people. You indict people because they broke the law. But if you look at what Tulsi and Kash Patel have revealed in the last couple of weeks, I don't know how anybody can look at that and say that there wasn't aggressive violations of the law. And I absolutely think they broke the law. And you're going to see a lot of people get indicted for that.
A lot of people getting indicted. That means a lot. And it means a lot because I don't think the Vice President of the United States of America drops that hot potato in Pam Bondi's lap unless he's been given assurances that there's something there. We've had Tulsi Gabbard come out and say, it's time. Vice President, it's time. It's time. All these big shots keep saying it's time. Very clearly, they think they have something. I think they do. Put a smile on your face. All right, I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're gonna start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.